I'm Blaine Alexander on Boulder Woods Drive, and today we're learning so much more about what happened when an officer and a homeowner were sent to the hospital with gunshot wounds last night. Again, we reported that the officer went to the wrong home. Well, today we're learning, according to the GBI's investigation so far, that officer was actually shot by a fellow officer. It turns out the homeowner did not fire any shots at all, it appears. Now, when we went to the home today, the couple understandably did not want to be bothered, and we did respect their wishes, but we spoke with a number of neighbors out here in the area, many who came to the scene immediately after it happened. I talked with one woman who, well, you'll be very surprised as to what she says happened right when she got to the scene. Doug Richards and I are working on that for tonight at 5 and 6. We'll see you then. ABC behind me, but again, what we did learn within the past hour is quite simply officers responded to the wrong home. Now, here's what we learned tonight from Public Safety Director Dr. Cedric Alexander. He tells us that police got a call about a burglary in progress. Well, the caller gave a rather vague description describing the intersection and what the house looked like. Based on that description, responding police thought that the house they were approaching was the correct house. Turns out that wasn't the case. They went around the back of the house and found both the screen door and the main door unlocked. They identified themselves. They thought that was suspicious that those doors were open, so they identified themselves and went inside. Now, that's when things get a little bit unclear. Dr. Alexander says at some point gunshots rang out. He couldn't say exactly who fired or how many shots were fired, but he did confirm for us tonight that at least one officer did discharge his or her weapon. In the end, we learned both the homeowner and one officer was hit, and the family dog was killed in that crossfire. Let's listen to Dr. Cedric Alexander, again speaking to reporters just within the past hour.
What's very complicated about this is the fact that they did respond to a location in which did meet the description that was given to them by the caller and by 911. And when they came to the rear of the house, there was an unlocked screen and unlocked door. That in and of itself would probably suggest to anyone that it was possible that it could be intruders inside, but it turned out not to be the case.
Now, we do know that the GBI are going to step in and investigate this scene right now. In fact, we know that they're on their way to the scene to begin that investigation. Now, one interesting note about that, Dr. Alexander said because this does not involve a fatality, this is something that usually DeKalb police could handle, could investigate on their own. But he says because of the nature of this incident, they've made the choice to turn this over to the GBI. Again, they're expected to begin their investigation any moment now. We do know that all three officers involved are on administrative leave tonight. That includes the one officer who was hit and is being treated at Grady. Let's go live now to Grady Memorial Hospital with our Jeremy Campbell. He's the only reporter there where both the homeowner and the officer are being treated tonight. Jeremy?
Blaine, right now they're both undergoing treatment inside Grady, and for the officer, this is a very serious moment. The officer was injured when the bullet struck the officer in the thigh, and it left a wound that was so serious that that officer is in critical condition due to a loss of blood. The shot was fired around 7:35, and by 8:45, that officer was on the operating table. As for the resident, police have not issued an update on how that person is being treated. We do not know his condition. We just know that he is here at Grady tonight. Now, the scene here is very somber. There are several police officers, maybe a half dozen or so, who have been trickling in and out. Solemn expressions, concerned. They're not speaking because of just how many unanswered questions there are right now, but their leader, Dr. Cedric Alexander, is speaking for them. He says that he believes in surgery and in the power of prayer, and he is asking for prayers and thoughts tonight for that officer and resident being treated here at Grady. Back to you in the studio.
And with that said, Jeremy, our prayers are with, again, both the officer and the resident. Jeremy, Blaine, thank you very much. And this is just the beginning of what will likely be a long investigation. Our crews are still there on the scene right now. And, of course, we'll bring you any updates throughout the newscast, on air, and on our website, 11alive.com.